And if you don't mind me asking this, obviously you're a well-known person and you travel, you meet a lot of women and you're successful in your own brand and you've busted your ass to get here, right? I bet you can spot gold diggers a mile away and you probably have like a filtering test of just like, is she legit or not? But it must be hard for a man in your position to know or trust a woman that comes into your life, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really my approach to like spending money around women, let's say that much, is like if I invite a woman like to dinner, I'm paying. Like that's the way I look at it. Like if I invite someone, you know, to join me for the weekend, I'm paying for the taxi, or I'll fly her into town so we can go do something together. Like to me, that is like it's the same exact thing to me as like paying for her Uber to the restaurant, right?
I agree. Mm-hmm.
Like I'll pay for like the logistics and I'll pay for the date because I'm a gentleman and I'm in a position to do that. I'm comfortable financially, so that's my role. However, I don't go around like buying purses and handbags for people. I don't go around paying for plastic surgery for girls and stuff like that. You know, like I don't do any of that kind of crap. It's like, but I'll pay for dinner, I'll pay for the drinks. Cool, because I consider that to be my job. And so to me, it's very, very easy to like spot like a quote unquote gold digger. One, they don't really get around me in the first place. I think they kind of. I think I don't know if I deliberately filter this, but or if my kind of like social media kind of filters it for me. I don't really get hit up by that many gold diggers, honestly, because they don't because they'd be asking you for shit pretty much straight off the bat, and I think they can kind of tell that I already know the game because I've been in that kind of industry, you know. So like I've been friends with some of the best gold diggers on the planet, so I know like I know the game, man. You're gonna pull it off on me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So it kind of filters itself in a way, and. Yeah, I don't really need to worry too much about that. Like, and obviously, there's a difference between a girl that I'm just going to have some fun with, and there's a difference between a girl that I'm like, okay, this girl could be a potential mother, and I'm going to treat those two women very, very differently,
absolutely, from
the very beginning as well.
Right,
and I can recognize that pretty easily off the bat too.
Mm-hmm. Whenever, and I don't know if you do this or not, but I remember when I was out there just having the time of my life, if somebody came around that like, oh, this may be legit, I didn't want to have sex the first night. I kind of like held off. I'm like, okay, because usually I'm pretty sure you've been in this experience where you meet a woman and it's great. The chemistry is just on fire. Then you have sex and then the emotions the next morning change. There's a different atmosphere now. Like, you know, we moved too fast and we kind of ruined it. And there went that chance. But whenever I did meet somebody, like, oh my God, you know, this woman I totally respect. So I would just kind of hold off of that first night. Do you ever do something different? Like you said, you treat them different. Is that one of those tactics you do?
Yeah, I guess that's, you know, it's probably unconscious for me doing that now at the point as well. But if I see a woman who I think is, okay, this girl has like real solid, like long-term potential, I'm going to approach it a lot slower, you know, than, and that's probably, and there's partly for her but you're right. It's also partly for me. Mm-hmm. To really concentrate on like vetting her and finding out as much as I can about her on that first date, because then I don't want to waste my time in pursuing something
right
that is like has no future on it, right? And I've gotten to this point now where I don't want to if I see a genuinely good girl and who has potential, I don't want to add to her body count. If I'm not going to be with her long term.
Makes sense.
That's kind of where I'm at now. It's like, so I'll use that first date or maybe a couple of dates to just try and vet her, find out more about her. And it's like, okay, if there's chemistry here, okay, now we can push things a bit further. But if there's not, I'm not interested in you know, adding an extra body to her. I'm not interested in especially getting intimate with her and potentially having her fall in love with me when I know that there's not going to be a future here.
Right.
Because I just don't think that's...
Why do that to her? Yeah.
I don't think that's good karma. I don't think that's a good thing for men to be running around doing. And again, granted, and I know this sounds, this might sound misogynistic or whatever, but there's fundamentally two different types of women in this world. There's women that are for fun, and there's women that are for taking seriously. Yeah. And when it's a woman I've identified as someone who I could take seriously, I'm going to vet that, and I'm not going to try and add to her body count. But if it's a woman who I already know, and I can tell from her social media that she is, you know, maybe a bit more of a party girl. Whatever. Okay, then I've got no, like, she's already decided that this is her life and this is her lifestyle. So I've got there's no like moral or karmic problem there. She already knows she's like the fun girl type. So okay, cool, we can have fun.
Yeah,
and maybe that will continue.
That's all it'll ever be. Right.
Yeah, it might only be once, or it might be a repeating thing, but it's not really going to be. I'm not going to have kids with this woman.
Right. And I love what you just said, because there's also no judgment from what I'm feeling on your side, because that's who she is. She's chosen that, and she knows who she is. So I'm just going to go have fun with her in that wavelength and not think of anything else. Or most guys, I think, judge a little too much.
And it's ultimately, realistically, it's like it's her choice. Like, she's chosen to live that way. That's fine. I think the problem comes in when women who, and this is kind of like the gold digger thing, right?
Right.
When women who have obviously lived that kind of fast party girl lifestyle pretend to that all of a sudden, oh, now I'm a good girl. Now I'm like wife material. And it's like, the unfortunate reality is that ain't the truth. Like, men and women are very, very different. Unfortunately, like, women do get the harsh reality of the world that we live in. The harsh reality of nature is that women do get judged on their sexual past, on their promiscuity. Men really don't, honest to God. Like, look at a guy like me, man. I've been paid to do this sort of thing on camera for about, I was doing that for like a better part of a decade. And it's like, that has zero impact on my ability to find a really good, wholesome, religious partner. But the other way around is a very, very different story.